We got some repairs to do. This old backhoe, boy, it don't owe me nothing. I bought this property, and I bought this little tractor. It had very few hours on it. Boy, I beat it to death. Poor old thing. Anyway, yeah, I bought this backhoe new, and it was set up to just mount on the 3-point, but I didn't want that. I put a subframe under it, and that's worked out really good. It's done a lot of work around here. I did all this landscaping. This place was a clean slate when I got it. I built everything around here and done all the landscaping, and we've dug ditches and all kinds of stuff, you know. Yeah, I've helped out neighbors with this thing. Our irrigation district, we had to put in a new weir, a new water box, and I went up with this little backhoe and dug a big hole and set the thing in there, and I've lifted stuff with it, and boy, it's just been handy. But it sits most of the time, and it looks rough because it's just set out in the weather. I should have built a shed and put it under it or something, but I didn't. Anyway, it is what it is. Now, it's set out there for, I don't know, I bet it's been 10 years since I used this thing. Nah, maybe not that long, 8 years, I don't know, but things go downhill when you just let them sit, you know. When you're using them, you maintain them, and just like vehicles, I like to drive my rigs and find out things that are wrong with them and fix them along the way and all that. But this thing sat out there, well, it was leaking hydraulic fluid while I was using it, and I haven't checked it out yet, but Victor said he spotted it. I had him look under there while I was operating it, and it was squirting fluid, and he says he sees where it's coming from, probably a fitting. And then I busted a hose on my downrigger here. It got a rock caught in here. It fell down from up in here, I guess, and when I picked it up, that rock snapped that coupler off there. So we got some repairs to do on the backhoe, so I guess I might as well just get with it. Hey, welcome to Rat Rodding. My name's Waylon Wire, and don't ever do what we do here on this channel. Hey guys, welcome back to Waylon Wire's Old Iron. Oh, it's been a busy week. Wrapped up our little old grafting season, our pathetic little grafting season. Probably the shortest one I've done since about 1983. But anyway, got it done. We repaired a septic pipe 6 feet down. Had to dig all that up with the backhoe and replace the pipe. Cover that back up, and it was a bit of a chore. Well, it's done. We had to dig up from there all the way to the other end of the shed. Backfilled it, and then put gravel down and blew 2 hoses on the backhoe. Had to go get some more hydraulic oil, but we got her done, and Victor can take a shower tonight. Boy, I'm grateful for that. We got that done. And then tonight, well, me and Victor, we got our hands dirty. Let's take a look, see what's going on. You see, when I lost this hose, well, it just fell down, and I had to tie it up with some baling wire. You know how Arkies do, and just to get by until I could get done. Made it a little tough digging because I only had one foot on the ground. But we got it all done. All right, ain't nothing to do now but just do it. You know, the thing about a backhoe is you don't need them very often. But boy, when you need one, you really need one, you know. I was screwing that off all the time and it just slips off. It just pulls off. I wish I'd have been born smart instead of so good looking. All right, which one of you little buggers are you? I believe it's this one right here. I got a minute before the tractor place closes. I think I'm gonna run in and see if I can get this hose made up, and I'll be back. Y'all wait right here. Well, we got my downrigger fixed, so Victor doesn't have to stand here and hold up this side of the backhoe anymore. We had a hydraulic hose come loose right there. Right there. I guess that's enough light. You can see it right in here. Anyway, yeah, it came loose and it was squirting fluid all over the place, and of course you can't get to it with a wrench. And you have to drop that whole tank out of there to get to it. I didn't want to do that. Don't have time for that. So I did a little bit of exploratory surgery here. And got it so I could get a wrench in there and tighten that thing up. I might weld that back and I might not. I might need to get to it again someday. So I think that's a better design right there. I think that's good right there, Richard. Thank you. Thank you very much, gracias. But see, this is okay. Fenders are okay.
I think the box is okay.
Yeah,
The
you need
wires.
the wires. I just think I need the wires. All the wires. Okay, this hood, I'm certain it's shot. Solid down here, but right back here where the fire was, it's buckled. So I don't think there's any bringing that back. But I've got a hood. I've got another hood. So that'll be okay. You know, I know this old truck is just a material thing, but boy, I'm sentimental about it, you know. I got this truck when my little boy was less than a year old. He's going to be 36 in July. So, you know, when he was just a little guy running around, this truck was there. I hauled him in a car seat in this truck. And when he got a little older, and he kicked the dash and dented that dash all up. And when I restored this truck, I have this memory where I took that panel. It was faux wood grain, and I took that panel off and I laid it on that bench right there where you guys are on a table. And I took an old caster off an office chair, a round one, and I rolled out that aluminum. I got it nice and smooth, and I frosted it, and then I clear coated it and put the pinstriping on it and put it back in there because I wanted to use the same one that my little boy kicked dents in when he was little. When I got into my grafting business, kind of got off the ground. I was into it about 5 years, starting to book some pretty good jobs in California. Started out real small, you know, and I was still driving that old straddle truck hauling fruit in from the orchards into the packing facility. And but each spring I did a little bit grafting, and each spring I did a little bit more. And then finally the tail started wagging the dog, and it was time to give up that truck driving and do this grafting thing full time. And I drove this thing to California and back for many, many years. Oh, the miles I put on this thing, several engines. I drove this thing all the time down there, and I started working for some pretty big companies, so Kendall Jackson, Robert Mondavi, Gallows, E&J Gallo, you may have heard of them. And they're farming 20,000 acres, and they're contracting 200,000 acres. And I started getting jobs like 100 acres and 200 acre jobs, and that was good, you know. And this old truck was there when that happened. And I remember working in King City one time, and there was a ranch manager, and down there they got thousands of acres, you know. One vineyard might be 2,000-3,000 acres, and they every year or every other year or whatever, they lease a whole new fleet, the brand new trucks, 20 or 30 of them, maybe 40, you know, maybe more. And they always had them white work trucks. They said WT on the back in the 90s. So I pull in this old thing, and they'd be out there in their brand spanking new 1993 Chevy work truck. They all looked alike, and there was one manager came up to me. We were grafting, and he said, kind of looked down his nose at me, you know, and he said, "Well, that's the same old truck you had down here last year." And I said, "Yes, sir, it is. And it's the same one I'll have down here next year because I'm in this for the long haul," you know. And they didn't understand that I was driving this truck because I couldn't afford a new white work truck. No, I was driving this truck because I wanted to drive it. I love this old truck. Yeah, it was 20 years old, you know, but I don't need to pretend to be something I ain't and make payments on a truck that I can't afford. This thing was paid for, and boy, it's just been good to me. So it has to rise from the ashes. I have to bring it back. Even when I got divorced, I had spent 25 years in the workforce, and I had accumulated a home. Was buying a 5,000 square foot home and an orchard overlooking the Columbia River up here, and I got relieved of all that bondage. I came out of that divorce with two of those Husqvarna chainsaws, this old truck, and the clothes on my back, and I started from scratch. And this old truck built this building, it built this shop, it built this farm, this 40 acres I've got here. This old truck helped to pay for it. So it's very, very sentimental to me. And you know, I want to fix it up. And when I'm gone, I want my son to drive it. So, like I always say, there ain't nothing to do now but just do it. Okay, let's get some light in here if we can find it. Wonder if I left it on the tractor. No, there it is. Here's my thought on this. I think, as bad as it is, that it's not as bad as I thought it was. That's what I'm thinking now. I was just too sick to look at it for a couple days, but basically what it is we're going to pull this engine. You got whatever grommets are on the firewall, they're all shot, burn up probably, but we're going to yank the engine out of this thing. Then I'm going to start cleaning up that firewall. And I don't care about that firewall. I'll spray paint that sucker black with a rattle can. I don't care. But the top of it needs to be painted the original Chevrolet orange, like the truck is. And that plastic vent up there, that's available. And it's not that expensive, and I can get that rubber piece that goes across there. And I've got a hood, and a lot of this is just smoke. It'll clean up all these fenders. These inner fender wells are fine. It was basically confined to the back of the engine. And I've got a brand new distributor up there in a box that I've had for several years, electronic distributor, that I can stab in this thing. And I've got I've got 2 or 3 brand new sets of plug wires. No hoses and wiring, basically wiring. Now I don't know how, I don't think there's any damage inside, but when we get the engine out, I'll start investigating all that. And we need a hood, and like I said, I've got a hood. I need a windshield wiper motor, and those are available. I think mostly it's going to be just getting it cleaned up, and these hinges I think will clean up. I've got some brand new ones over here. I was going to put them in anyway because they're a little stronger, and then if you get stronger hinges, it pull the back of that hood down. You know how sometimes it wants to ride a little high in the back. Well, these good springs will pull that down the way it's supposed to be. So I'll probably swap those out while I'm at it. Repaint those hinges, clean them up. They might just need scrubbing down. And I've got a guy that's done my body work for the last 20 or 30 years, old Harmon Sapp. He retired. He retired when he was a long time ago, probably 10 years ago. But he had a little shop at the end of his son took over the business, and he had a little shop at the end of the body shop there where he did personal projects. He worked for people, took in little jobs, and worked when he wanted to, 3 or 4 hours a day, and go fishing, as it should be. But I talked to him this morning, and I said, I need to get your opinion on something. And well, in conversation, it came up that he's still working. He said, yeah, I can come see you the first of the week. I'm helping this guy. I'm doing a couple projects for this guy. So I'm 76, but I'm still working. I work 3 or 4 hours a day, whatever I want to. And I didn't say anything, but I'm satisfied. He's a pretty good friend. He's helped me. Well, he fixed up my Impala. It had a ding in the fender, and just a little chip, less than the size of your little fingernail. But he said, you got to paint the whole fender to fix it. And he says, it's too nice a car not to fix it. So I said, yeah, I agree. I took it down there, and he painted that fender, fixed it, the damage. And he said, you can't just fix a little spot. You got to paint the whole thing. So he found another little chip in the other fender, and he fixed that. And he found 2 little spider webs in the hood, where some of the bracing, I guess I need to put something in there, some kind of, not caulking, that's no, but you know what I mean, some kind of filler in there, like caulking, whatever they use to keep that from moving, because it was putting a little spider web crack on each side of the hood, and he fixed that too and painted the whole hood. And when he got all done, I went down there. He wasn't there, but his son was there, and he said, well, Dad wasn't something he wasn't happy with about the way the guy painted something. I don't know. I couldn't see a thing in the world wrong with it. But instead of 900, it's going to be 750. And I said, no. I already had the check made out for 900. I said, give your dad this check, and I don't want, it's well worth it. And then I when I seen him, I gave him another 600 because it was just, he did far more than what he was charging me. And I always try to be fair. That pays off, I think, in life. And the way I run my business is to be fair, plus just a little bit. Be honest and fair with people. And then when you're out there counting graphs, if you think you lost count, well, error in his favor, 10 or 12 graphs. Just make it so if he goes out there and counts them, he'll know you didn't screw him. So that's just my approach, and I think it's a good way to live and a good way to do things. And so I took care of Harmon on that, I guess, and he's happy. And he said, if you ever need anything, let me know. So I'm going to let him know. And I think he'll help me out. But bottom line here, that's a long story, I know, and I'm sorry. But the bottom line is, I think it's not as bad as I thought it was. It's bad enough. But, you can only piss and moan about something so long that it's time to just roll up your sleeves and take care of the problem. Ordinarily, the procedure would be to do the hood like this, is you get it on your shoulder here, put your hand on top and take these bolts out, and they keep it from closing. But this thing sits so high off the ground, that's hard to do. So if you'll just hold the hood up, I'll take the bolts out, and then we can lift it off. What do you think? Okay. Ordinarily, you would scrap this right here, and you'd make a mark around that hinge. So when you put it back here, you got it in the exact same place. But we're not going to reuse this hood, so it doesn't matter. There you go. Atta boy. Get you a stump. Pull up a stump. There you go.
Outside?
Yeah, let's go out, guys. Oh, Victor, you were smart, man. You put your gloves on. Yeah, well, of course he does. He's always showed me how smart he is. And I'm always showing him how dumb I am. But together we get it done. Should have leveled it up a little bit. It's all right. All right. Yeah, that's what I need. I'm too short. Too short, man. I don't know if it'll crank or not. We'll see. Where do I need to go? Go ahead.
¿Arriba o abajo?
Abajo. It's good enough for now. Good enough for who it's for. Good enough for the girls you and Danny Brown go out with. Bueno. Okay, Victor. Let's call it a half a day and go home.
Have the rest of the day off.
Take the rest of the day off, man. Okay, guys, that's going to do it for this time. The Phoenix is going to rise from the ashes. To my family, I love you. To all you subscribers, I sure do appreciate you. See you next time.